Alright guys, we are live here in China for round 3 of the AOR F1 2013 Season 10 League here on the Xbox 360. And into the garage we go. It's like I said, third. Fuck's sake, I'm hearing my own voice again. I'm so sorry. Let me just get rid of that. I don't confuse myself. Right. Yeah. As usual, I'll be watching the whole qualifying and the race from the spectator box to give you guys all the action that I can give you. Of the 12 drivers that will be taken to the track today, there are a couple of confirmed absences. TRL Ellis was scheduled to make his debut here today after replacing... actually, yeah, first of all, we have two guys who unfortunately have pulled out of the league. With Andre, who finished 4th in the first race in Australia. His Xbox has unfortunately broken down. That's obviously the reason he missed last race as well, and he will not be returning because of the red rings of death issue that the Xbox tends to give you. And also, Limitless HD has pulled out of the league for various reasons as well. But we have got two replacement. TRL Ellis, as I mentioned, was scheduled to replace one of them, but he's not here. And we have got a new driver then in NLR Evo, who I believe has not raced in the AOR before, but he has been recommended by some of the drivers in the league and will be making his debut here today in the Williams team alongside Yi, who is making his return after obviously having his connection issues last time out. Hopefully he will be able to complete the sessions here today. So, while you listen to this beautiful engine sound in the background, I will bring you up to date with what happened last week. So here are the results from the Malaysian Grand Prix Round 2. It was won, for those of you you will remember it if you watched it, a dominant win for TRL Martin in the Caterham. 6.7 seconds ahead of TRL Limitless, who got second quite comfortably, ahead of TSR Unleashed, who got third in the Red Bull. Brochek and Leobot had that amazing battle for 4th, with Brochek coming out of top in that one. And Jason 6th, Orbit Pride 7th, Lester 1 8th, Tyrrell Maguire 9th, and TSR Hunter Stale 10th. That was the top 10 in the previous round. Yeah, Tyrrell Maguire as well, just to mention, is also absent here today, unfortunately. Also then, after the first two races, this is the status in this championship. TRL Martin has gotten himself back-to-back wins. Here, I'm just going to check in the stream work because it looked a bit weird for me, but yeah. TRL Martin with back-to-back wins and has a big gap actually after only 2 races in the championship. 17 points ahead of TRL Limitless, who is only a further 3 points ahead of Brochek. So Martin has had the upper hand so far. But it has to be said that Limitless has also been looking pretty strong with the 2 podiums as well. But everyone who knows Limitless will know that he is here to win races. And obviously quite close in the midfield between a few drivers there as well, with TSR Unleashed kind of leading the best of the rest as it stands. So I'm going to jump out on the track now and see what's going on. Let's try to find a better camera because this is horrible. Yeah, those of you who know this game and have been in the spectator mode of this game before will know that we don't have the best cameras to choose from here. This is the closest you can get to the T-cam view that most of the drivers use to drive. Obviously the T-cam view with the camera above the helmet on the kind of the top of the body of the car. Roll bar, is that what you call it? Yeah, this is the closest we get. Unfortunately, I would love to bring you proper cameras for these broadcasts because that's kind of the only thing that I'm really missing from the F1 2015 game. Going back onto this is the spectator cameras, because on that one you can actually have proper trackside cameras and all the proper driving cameras as well. But yeah, this is what we have to settle for here. Either that one or that one, I guess. As you can see, Ria Harianto on his first lap opening the DRS. We're going to follow him for the rest of the lap here. Ria Harianto. I do not believe he has scored any points in the first race. I mean, he might have scored a few actually in Australia, but last time out he finished outside the points. No, Harianto DNF'd of course in Australia. So he's one of the few drivers without any points so far in the season. So he'll be looking to obviously rectify that, and he opens his qualifying session with a 1:34.6 to go P8 only after pretty much 5 minutes gone in the session. So I'm gonna just look back in the scoreboard actually and see how the guys who have set a lap time. Tyrrell Limitless currently on provisional pole with 32.9, 0.3 of a second or 2.5 of a second ahead of Brochek in second, and then we got Yi, who took pole in the first race at Australia. He's currently sitting third with a 0.3. Martin, the back-to-back race winner, has not yet set a lap time, running his Finnish flag for some reason again. I assume because he's a Kimi fan, he's not actually Finnish. Quite a few different flags going on here, to be honest. But yeah, it's more, I would say there's a more international grid than it's been for many of the other seasons. Limitless goes back to the pits after his first attempt, surely happy with a 32.9. I'm not completely sure what we'll be expecting in terms of lap times here, but you know, 32.9 for Limitless, looking very good so far. So let's see then. Jason, he's on the flying lap at the moment. Actually, we don't know if it's on the flying lap or if it's an in lap, but it's being timed at least, so it's not an out lap. Let's see. I'm not sure. It didn't look like it was really pushing there, was it? Did it? So I expect him to go back into the pits, and he does indeed. And you can see on the minimap as well that most of the drivers are in the pits. A few cars coming out. Riant as well. Probably going straight back in. It did look like there was one car starting the lap though. Yeah, Orbit Pride is on a flying lap. Oh, but that's not gone too well for him. Touched the grass on the outside. It didn't go off though. If you touch the grass outside there, that could easily kind of understeer your car further off the track. But Orbit Pride at least managed to save it a little bit, even though obviously not the ideal line for the first corner. You want to kind of keep it a bit tight, at least on the first part of that corner, in my experience anyway. So let me know guys in the chat quickly if the stream is fine. I accidentally paused it for some reason. I was meant to mute it, but there we go. Is the voice levels fine? Is the quality fine? Quality looks okay from what I can see anyway. That's good. Orbit Pride getting through a Mercedes there, who nicely gets out of the way on his out lap. And this corner is so tricky. I really don't like this one. From my experience of driving this track, it's one of the corners that has really caused me some headaches over the years. But obviously, it's one of those corners that if you master it, you can gain quite a bit of time on your rivals in the race. Losing DRS in the braking zone, hitting the Epis nicely. Looked like he went a little bit slow next to maybe. But it's hard to really tell from these cameras. Oh, one Orbit Pride does not want to play the lap. That's unfortunate. So we kind of followed it for no reason. Gerald Martin, though, he is on his first lap. He's not set a lap yet, but okay, he still doesn't want to set a lap. So that's... oh, God. He's nearly done the Lewis Hamilton there. We're going very deep on the pit entry. Looked like he almost locked his brake just trying to get out of the gravel there. And spun around, but obviously it didn't really matter. Not a big deal. But Martin, he's got less than half the session now to actually get a lap in that he's happy with. And we can now follow Tyrrell Limitless, currently on provisional pole. And that looked nice and fast through the first couple of turns there. Nice to see Noble Ownage in the chat. It's, two legends of the AOR F1 leagues on different platforms. Noble, the 5-time Xbox 360 champion. Ownage, also a very, very good driver from the PC leagues back in the day. And Limits now. I really wish we had the split times on these spectator cams, to be honest, so we could actually see whether it's up or down on his current time, because there's really no way for me to tell. So all we know is that Limitless is still in provisional pole. He's not been beaten by anyone yet. I have no idea if this lap will be an improvement or not. We're gonna have to wait. Last couple of corners, braking just before the 100-meter buzzer, and he's gonna be wide. He's missed apex a little bit. He's definitely lost some speed on the exit. It's not what he wanted. Obviously, we didn't see his first lap, and yeah, you can see he was not happy with that. Straight back in the pits, didn't bother completing that. He realised that that was not going to be an improvement. His Unleashed has gone up to P2 with 33 flats, so less than a tenth of a second behind what Limitless did. He's pretty close there at the top. Brochek in third now, still with a 0.2. Yi fourth, Liebert fifth, Lester 1 6th, Jason 7th, Hunter Stale 8th, and Haryanto currently in the top 10. Obviously the man looking for his first points in the league, but he only has drivers, so it's not set a lap time behind him. And obviously I assume most of the eyes will be on Tyrrell Martin, who has not set a lap yet. Can he be up there again after his incredible pace in the first couple of races? He has to be mentioned, of course. It's been kind of a bit of an unwanted controversy for the first couple of races with the whole racing line situation. I can confirm now that the racing line, from what I've been told anyway, has been turned, well, it's been banned for every driver for this race onwards. So those who were using that in the first couple of races will not be able to do that anymore. So remains to be seen, of course, if that has any effect on the order, I guess. Obviously, the racing line, in my experience, it helps for consistency. It doesn't really help for pace. Obviously, you can pull just as good a lap time out without a line as you can with the line. But yeah, certainly throughout the race, the racing line can help with consistency in terms of hitting the braking points and stuff like that. And luckily, the drivers were fine with going back to a no assist situation for this race, which is good to see, because that's what we've been used to here in the top league on the AOR Xbox League. Let's see if there's anyone else with 3 minutes left in the session. Leobots is currently on a lap, trying to improve on his 33.4 that he has at the moment. A little bit wiggly there on the exit of turn 2. I'm just try and scroll through and see if Tyrrell Martin is out, actually. Really interested to see what he can do. Here he goes, actually. Oh, and he does set a lap time. He has just completed it for 33 flats, and he retires from the race. Yeah, either because he's not happy with, or he was happy with that lap, or he yeah, just didn't have time to set another lap or enough fuel on board to get around again. That is demoted TSR Unleashed down to P3. Brochek P4 then. Hard on the curb there. Not too far off. Jason's retired from the race. Or from the session, I should say. Yi coming out. He will just about then get one final lap in. And he replicate his pole from Australia. Doesn't look like it at the moment. You never know. Oh, Tyrrell Maguire. Enemy message, that's interesting. I'm just going to finish Leobot's lap before I look at that. Leobot a little bit wide on the curve there. Tiny bit off, but not too much. And it does a 33.4. Doesn't seem too happy with it. I mean, usually you kind of weave because you are happy. But I don't think Leobot improved his position. So I assume he weaved it because he was not happy there. Let's see what's going on. Orbit Pride still not set a lap. Actually, oh yeah, Limitless in the DRS zone. Can he improve on his 32.9? Doesn't look like he needs to improve on it at the moment, because obviously Martin's retired from the session, and I believe Unleashed then is the closest to him. Although Unleashed was only a 10th off, so you never know, he might find some extra time. So we'll come to the end of the lap here. Ooh, just a tiny bit wide again, just like Leobot did moments ago. And he has not improved. He's still a 0.9. I don't know if it's a better 0.9. And he's improved. So everything to look for then is with TSR Unleashed, presumably. He's the closest challenger at the moment, but that is not going well at all. And surely that's an important lap for him. Yeah, Unleashed has given up on that one. And let's then follow Yi's final attempt in this session. revving out to the downshift there. Getting it turning nicely for the apex. It's about getting early on the throttle out of here. Maguire has joined, so I assume he just wanted to get an invite, to be honest, because he's obviously a bit late. I thought he was going to be absent for this race, that's what Limitless told me, but nice to see he's made his way in. Sleaze lap looking pretty nice so far. Again, annoying that I don't have the split delta sector times, so that I don't really know how good it is. He hasn't aborted it yet at least, so that's a good sign. Brakes. To this, I guess it's a first gear corner in this game. I seem to remember you went down to first gear more often on 2013 than certainly on 2014. I barely ever used first gear on 2014 when I was driving with the wheel and all that lack of traction in first gear especially. Here comes Yi, closing DRS into the hairpin. Ooh, very high on the curb, just about not cut it, I think. Into the final corner then, trying to carry as much speed as he can, and that is a bit too wide. What can he do? And he's gone P2. A little bit of an extender at the exit, but he has done a P2 regardless. Another impressive qualifying lap, and less F1. What can he do? Can he improve on P8? No, he can't. There we go. That is the session. Thierry Limitless is on pole. Is that for the first time this season? Just gonna check that quickly. Yi took pole in Australia, and Martin took pole in Malaysia. So it is Thierry Limitless' first pole position of the season here in China, a track that I know that he likes quite well. Yi is in second, Martin third. Very close between those two on times. And there we go. So, very close session, you have to say. And Thierry Limitless will be very happy to be back on top after not being too pleased with his qualifying so far this season. Yeah, Limitless was actually 0.4 of a second behind Martin's pole time last time out. But a very impressive lap this time, even though he was, I think, both Martin and Yi were less than 1/10 of a second behind. It's looking a bit closer in terms of pace between the drivers at the top, at least, in this here at China. I think this will be a very interesting race. Like I said, Limitless usually very strong at this track. I know that he's done a lot of hot lap videos on his YouTube channel around China, so it's one of the ones that he likes. But Martin is carrying the momentum of 2 wins in a row. He as well, I guess, has had a positive experience by not getting disconnected like he did last time in qualifying. And last time in Malaysia he also got disconnected after less than a lap in the race, I think. So he has to cross his fingers that doesn't happen again, because he could be play an interesting part in this race. These are Unleashed and Brocheck as well, not too far off, I believe. Could be potential dark horses. And Orbit Pride, I think 6th place there. Pretty sure that's his best qualifying of the season so far. He qualified 8th last time out. Oh no, he did qualify 5th actually in Australia, but it dropped down to 11th in the race on that occasion. I'm just, as usual, going to show the default game strategy here in the garage. 2 option stints and a prime stint apparently. 8 laps on the option stint and 12 actually on the prime stint. But we've seen, I believe we've seen anyway, some varying strategies earlier in the first 2 races compared to what the default game strategy has said. I'm trying to remember from when I raced in season 7 and 8 whether 3-stopper or 2-stopper was the most usual around here. I really can't remember. I do think that 3-stopper was the most used strategy back then. So we could be expecting to see many drivers divert from that default 2-stop to do 3-stop with better tyre life. Oh god, and that's Maguire gone. That is not ideal. I'm gonna actually See if we can invite him back. I assume, actually, no, I don't think. I can't remember, but I don't think that he'll be able to get in once we've already loaded the race. So unfortunately, I think Maguire will not be taking any part in this race here today. We see TRL Rosberg's brother, Rosberg, one who has had very good races in the F1 League previously. In season 8, I believe it was, he had several wins. Yeah, the glitch that puts Maguire on pole position due to disconnecting here. But yeah, Limitless actually on pole.
We'll be going to track shortly, be aware.
And NLR Evo is starting behind me, even though I'm not actually racing. So I assume he did not actually set a time lap in the qualifying session. Hopefully everyone's ready for this race. Here we go, out on the circuit. Limitless starting on pole, with Yi just behind him, the two that tangled in Australia and let Martin through, and it's the same order as they were back then. Martin is in third, in prime position to take advantage if Limitless and Yi have another coming together here. The drivers are now just waiting for the lights. 13 drivers, one of them starting behind me. I'm going to quickly jump up through the spectator cam as the lights are now out. Retire from the session. And up we go, spectate. There we go, Yi getting very close to Limitless into turn 1. Oh, and there's a bit of side-by-side action going on. Is Yi going to have a look up the inside? No, he just understeered wide, and Martin is having a look at Yi now in the caterham, and Yi has been forced very wide on turn 2 there. This has given Limitless a break for it, and it looks like Martin and Yi are going to be side-by-side. I'm going to stay with Limitless there while these guys are battling behind him. Martin on the outside into turn 4, I believe, and he's squeezing me a little bit, but this almost looked like a bit of a wheel bang in there. But there, I don't think there was any contact. I'll go backwards now. Here we go. Oh, Martin! Oh, he manages to squeeze through on the exit of turn... was it turn 6? I'm not completely familiar with the corner names around here. It's been a while since I did anything with this track. But Martin, a very good move after some good side-by-side action there with Yi to get up to P2. And that's the gap to Limitless. Not yet a second, I would say. Martin then has now green light to charge after Limitless. And Yi, having dropped a position off the start. And he's now being put under attack as well from the Mercedes of Brocek. Ooh, and they're going to get very close on the straight. And we know this straight on Codemasters games can get a bit laggy. Oh, and he must have had a big lock up there. Or just brake too late, and he's dropped way down the field. Yi has rejoined nearly at the back of the pack there. Brocek up to third. Yi just put off by the side-by-side action on being on the outside of Brocek there into the hairpin. Martin not close enough to Limitless yet, but we got side-by-side action in the back as well. For fourth position, Leobot challenging the Red Bull of TSR Unleashed, I assume, on the outside. And this camera is not helping at all. There we go. Side by side for fourth place here. TSR Unleashed though with a better exit out of turn 2. He's able to get the advantage. Oh, I believe it was braking a little bit later. So we're getting very close to the back of Unleashed, but no contact made. So some nice battling, and there's still more side by side action further down the field. NLR Evo. Wow! I swear he started from last place. He started even behind me on the grid. He's already up to P6 there. That is incredible. Obviously making his debut here today, and I wonder if the reason he didn't set the qualifying time was because he wanted to impress us by coming through the field in the race. Obviously, he's kind of unknown in terms of his pace. I am not really familiar with him. Only thing I know is that some of the drivers were recommending him to fill the vacated seats, one of the vacated seats in the league after Andre and Limitless HD pulled out. So he is up to 6th and looking very strong so far in the race. And it looks like there's some potential move going on. Leobot going up the inside of the Unleashed into the hairpin. That's going to be very tight. But he's managed to slow it down enough to not make any contact there. It looked like there was a pretty late decision to go up the inside there. And no DRS, of course, yet in this race. And there's a big gap as well, forming ahead of Unleashed. Oh god. And there is definitely some crazy action going on back here. Oh, look at that! Yee! Who is trying to recover, and there's almost 3 wide through the first corner here. Oh, that's not gonna work, is it? Somehow there's been no spins. Look at this, 3 wide, and Yee gets a better exit. Oh, don't squeeze him too much, mate. Oh no, there's a cyber glitch for the Sauber. Is that potentially Orbit Pride, possibly? So another Sauber not far behind as well. That is very unfortunate to see that contact. Obviously, Yee, I'm not sure how aware he would have been that he had 2 cars on his left there. Maybe just suspected the one. And Yee now up to P7. Forcing the Caterham a little bit wide there. And the other Sauber also managed to snatch that position due to the Caterham running well. That was Orbit Pride actually. So it was his teammate getting cyber glitched before, and the Caterham getting that position back now. And Orbit Pride are going to be side by side. I'm just going to jump forward to see who that Caterham was. I'm still not 100% on the drivers who's running which car. I do apologize for that. But yeah, that was Lest F1. Oh, and that's Marusha back there. Limitless, Tier Limitless' teammate. He's having a struggle. Oh no! Lest F1, I have to say, defending it a little bit late on that occasion. But no contact, and the Sauber still managing to pull alongside with the DRS, of course, on lap 3. This is when DRS is opened for the first time. Bit of squeezing going on, but Lest defending hard from Orbit Pride. Side by side, still through the final corner. Amazing racing here. And I hope nothing fancy is going out in front, because there's just too much amazing stuff going in the midfield. The top 3 still look very close on the minimap. But I just hope there's been no passes for the lead. But we've been looking at this. I swear there's been someone side by side this whole lap. Less than 1 hour side by side with Tier Limited's teammate. That is, of course, Jason. 97 F1. And a quite experienced driver in the AOR F1 league. Currently running down in P10. Trying to get in on the action. And both of the 2 cars ahead of him have run very wide there. But I'm not going to jump back. Yeah, Haryanto also in with a touch and distance of the battle there, but Hunter still falling off a little bit, and it is still Tier Limitless out in front. Tyrrell Martin, though, not far behind him. Both him and Broshek will be within DRS range and have DRS here. As you can see, there's still a big gap behind Broshek. So there seems to be a top 3 that will be breaking away here, and have broken away. And then there's the TSR Unleashed, still in 4th, I believe, and with quite a train behind him. And Limitless got a very good exit out of that long right-hander. Good enough to not come under any pressure from TRL Martin there, despite Martin having DRS. Ooh, that's interesting. After only 4 laps, Martin peels off into the pits. Broshek stays out. You can see there's a few cars in the pits. So, let's see how they get on. And NLR Evo up to 3rd then. Due to the guys pitting, and Martin then on with the prime tires. Didn't look like he got held up. And he will emerge in clean air on the track. Unleashed as well into the pits. Pretty much half of the field have gone in by the looks of it. Leobot as well. God, I really don't know which one of these horrible cameras to go with. But here you can see the guys who have been in the pits. Hunter Stale currently in last place, and Limitless with a decent gap now to Broshek after Tyrrell Martin disappeared from in between them. Evo, as mentioned, up to 3rd, and Williams are both still running with their cars. So one of them will have to wait until lap 6 actually to go into the pits. Although, actually, I didn't see. Forgot to see if Evo was actually on a different tyre strategy, because he started outside the top 10, so it could have been. And Rio Haryanto now all the way up to P5 after running P10 a moment ago, but obviously, or P11 a moment ago, but obviously that will be because a lot of the cars ahead of him have pitted. And he's got less F1 for company as well, but I'm gonna jump back to the front. Again, annoying to have to skip through every single car to get to where I want. Nice pit entry for Broshek, and also NLR Evo is close the gap, surely. So where the gap to Limitless to Brochek is pretty much the same at what it is to Brochek and Evo behind. But this new guy, NLR Evo, is really impressing me with his pace so far, considering he started the race in last place. And yeah, there we go. You can see there, the Williams drivers double stacking, because there was not good communication between them. And well, I could not see Yi in the box there, but that was Yi. That was the second Williams in the pits, and will be held up for sure. Well, let's see. Has Martin jumped Limitless? That is the question. And he has! Wow! That is the undercut working for you there. Look at that gap! That is by pitting 1 lap earlier for TRL Martin. That must be like 3 seconds almost, at least 2. No, I've gone the wrong way! Shit. Want to skip back to Limitless, because he looked to be under pressure a little bit from Tsar Unleashed as well, who was in P4. So that is an enormous undercut. Jesus. And you have to say, is that a mistake then from Limitless to wait until lap 5 to pit? TRL Martin's undercut strategy is clearly working wonders for him. At this stage of the race, Limitless will have 1 lap fresher tires, of course, but will that be enough? I mean, will that be enough to close 3 seconds worth of a gap that Martin has managed to get from that undercut? It's absolutely astonishing how big that undercut is. And Martin, as he stands, on course for a 3rd consecutive win there. Unleashed could not get close enough. Good news for Limitless that he could not get close enough to challenge there. And Brochek as well is lost out due to pitting on lap 5 rather than lap 4. Been passed by both Leobot and Unleashed, down from P3 to P5. So let's see what's going on back here then. Last F1 then, running in P8 at the moment, but he's got Ria Haryanto for company. Ria Haryanto looking for his first points in the league, currently challenging for P8. Will give him 4 points if he can stay there, but he's gonna understep nearly onto the grass. Last F1 just getting a much better line, and look at that, is that Yi who's made contact with Haryanto and made the move as well. I wonder if Haryanto will have anything to say about that. There looks to be a little bit of contact between them. Into the corner, or through the corner. But, yeah, it's unfortunate for Haryanto. After challenging for P8 going into turn 1, he's now down to P10 after turn 2. And Jason, 97 F1, running outside the points at the moment. A little bit surprising, I guess you have to say. Jason, of course, had a very, very strong Season 9 on F1 2014. Finished 3rd in the overall standings that season. Doesn't seem as comfortable with the 2013 game. So obviously still a very solid racer he is. Very clean from my experience. Can Yi get close enough to last F1 to make a move here? Doesn't look like he does it, and Yi has really, really had a bad race. After qualifying P2, then dropping a position off the start to TRL Martin, and then obviously getting stuck in the pit box behind his teammate as well, which will not have helped at all. Look to be a few close battles going on here. Is that Brochek and Leobot again? Again for 4th position. Oh dear. It's looking like a replay, potentially, of the battle we had in Malaysia, when these guys really went at it for 4th place, especially at the end of the race. But it's not quite the end of the race yet. Brochek almost sliding a bit into turn 4 there. Excuse me if I'm saying any of the corner numbers a little bit wrong. I do not actually have a track map up. Just trying to remember. I do believe this is turn 6. Let me know if I'm wrong. Brochek getting very close. He'll surely want to have a go with the DRS as well. He will be on 1 lap fresher tires. So what do you think then, guys, watching the stream? Do you think Martin has made the best strategy call here? Or do you think Limitless with the slightly fresher tires will manage to pull him back in? Will any of the other guys potentially be a dark horse for the win? if something happens with Martin and Limitless, you never know. Limitless catch him up, they could have a ding-dong battle that slows them down, or they might have some contact, but not really something you'd expect from those drivers. And Brojek was just not able on neither of the DRS straights to get close. Well, he might get close here through turn 1. But leaving him a good amount of space. And going quite tight at turn 2 to cover Brojek off. So yeah, Brojek again just dropped back a bit by pitting a lap later than some of the other cars. He did exactly the same later. That's why he dropped a few positions then as well, when he also was on course for a top 3. But yeah, and in Malaysia, I have to say, the undercut strategy seemed to work well for the drivers who did it there, apart from Tyrrell Maguire, I guess, who pitted very early back then, got up to P3 for a brief moment before dropping down to P8, I believe, by the end of the race. And you can see, if you look further up ahead, Limitless is pulling away from Unleashed in P2, and it's looking like a very, very similar situation to last time out. But this time, I feel like Limitless's pace is better compared to Martin, relative to what it was in Malaysia. And here comes Brojek potentially. Will he brake later? Will he go for a Max Verstappen dive bump? No, he will not. Leibot closes the door on him as well. And Brojek is forced to go over the curb and lose speed in the exit. Leibot showing himself as a good offensive driver so far in this race. And again, Brojek not getting the best last corner there. And he even closed the DRS way before the corner. Not sure why. It was a mistake. And I've been on board with Brojek for a while now. I'm gonna just quickly go back and see what's going on. Seems to be close. Yeah, there seems to be... The gap, is it closing? I feel like it's closing a little bit. I would say the gap is just over 2 seconds. Again, annoying to not have the exact gap times. Spectator camera, the spectator mode on this game does not give that to you. Martin again looking very strong and without a racing line this time. For anyone who's wondering, it's banned for everyone in this race. After controversies of the first couple of races surrounding that. Martin showing that he can have the pace with or without. That's not the sole reason he was good in the first 2. I'm gonna jump back to that 4th place battle again. You can see there the gap between Limitless and Unleashed, and here comes Brojek again on Leibot. Leibot not going defensive. And Brojek on the inside, sliding a little bit. But he gets he gets the line without making any contact with Leibot, but he does not quite get the exit. They're going to be side by side through the final corner. Leibot just knocking over that bollard on the apex. And they didn't really have much choice with the room that Brojek left him either. But Brojek seems to have made that move stick now, despite Leibot having DRS for that second straight. Leibot though, looking at the inside here, very close. Ooh, a little bit of wheel banging as well. Look how close they are. But Brojek this time has the advantage of the best line. Brojek just trying desperately to get on the throttle early enough, and Brojek switches over to the inside line for turn 4 to cover off any potential attack, and he's done that very well, although he's run a little bit onto the curb on the exit. Hinder his exit speed slightly, but not enough for Leibot to get back at him. These guys, I have to say, unless the pit strategies put them further apart again, then these guys might end up battling until the end of the race again. And I think they are closing in actually. Despite this battle, I think they are closing in a little bit on Unleashed. They're certainly not dropping away from him. The gap is still a few seconds between them. Leibot might have a look again on Brojek. And here we go. He's very close, even closer than Brojek was to him on the previous lap, I think. And it's the easiest DRS pass. Kind of the definition of a DRS pass, that one. Brojek not given any chance to defend. And it's that NLR Evo as well, the debutant, running in P6. not far behind this battle. I wonder if he's going to want to try and join in and test himself against these veterans of the league. Liebert has it covered for now. Let's go back to the front then. Check on the gap between Limitless and Martin, and you can see still, I believe it's still just closing ever so slightly. Don't know the exact gap, but I think Limitless is pulling in a few tenths here and there. It looks like the best exit of that particular corner. But still around 2 seconds between them, or even less now. Limitless just trying best to get into DRS range. You can do that, then that will help him close the gap even further. And they pitted, so Martin pitted on lap 4. Surely it can't be long until they have their second scheduled stop is maybe in this lap. To be honest, this is Martin's 8th lap then on the soft, not on the prime tires, in his second stint. Limitless not within DRS range yet, and will Martin go into the pits, and will Limitless in that case follow him this time instead of letting him get the undercut again? That's a big question, isn't it? Limitless is the guy that tends to want to have fresher tires, and he does choose that again. I'm not sure, it didn't really work for him, to be honest, because he couldn't close the gap down on that whole stint. But he lets Martin have the undercut strategy again. Question then, big question actually, is Martin, will he come out in any traffic? That could potentially work the other way for him this time. But no worries in the pit box for the Caterham crew. There is a car coming down the pit lane. That is Yi, I would assume. But he's not close enough. And that is good news for Taylor Martin, who once again, after pitting, will have clean air to try and push under fresh tires to build a further gap ahead of Limitless when Limitless pits the next time. So, yeah, quite intriguing, this strategy battle. Limitless just choosing to pit a lap later. And again, I will say it again, I feel like it didn't really work out on the first stop, because he did get dropped by Martin. He was ahead before the stop, and on the second stop he was still behind. And Leash as well, back out into clean air after pitting from P3. He's got his teammate not too far ahead, Rio Haryanto, but he will have pitted only once so far. And maybe that'll actually help Leash a little bit. He might get DRS from being behind his teammate here. And is that... I'm just gonna... Is that here? No, it's a battle of second going on over there. NLR Evo, and he's challenging Brocek. He's not managed to pass him, but he has just closed that gap to Brocek. These two, I believe, pitted on the same lap, and they do so again. Very impressive debut so far. Limitless, you can see him over there, leaving his pit box now. And is that Martin then, who's already on turn 2 almost? Brocek stays ahead of Evo. Through the pits, where is Leobot? I assume Leobot will be ahead, because he pitted a lap earlier. The undercut just seems massively powerful here. Yeah, Leobot has gained a couple of seconds with that undercut again. Unbelievable how much time you can gain here on the fresh tires. Is that 3 seconds maybe? From Leobot to Brocek, and they were so close when Leobot pitted just 1 lap ago. So let's see then what the gap is with Limitless and Martin, and that has grown again. 4 seconds possibly. These gaps, I'm just saying them in my head. I really have no idea. Is this 4 seconds? I'm guessing it's 4 seconds. Maybe even 5. Yeah, Limitless, I'm really... think... It doesn't look good, does it? I feel like he really should have just covered Martin off on that previous pit stop, but despite then having used 1 less lap with the tire life on his previous stint, he's just losing too much by letting Martin have that undercut. But We'll see if he has it in him to close the gap. That's the thing with Limitless in this race. He seems to have just a tiny pace advantage on Martin. But he's making it too hard for himself at the moment. With pride then, running in P7. Oh, maybe not for long. He's had a big slide into the hairpin there. Last F1, not too far behind him. Running nicely in the points. After the pit stops have all shaken out, P9 for Yi. Ooh, like as mentioned, he has had a quite a disappointing race after his great qualifying in P2. Rio Arianto, P10. Not too bad for him, I guess. Oh, and Jason's retired from the race. That's unfortunate. I do believe... I'm seeing on the minimap here. Hunter's Dale is going very slow on the main straight. And he's got a lot of dirt on his tires. I wonder if he's... Oh, God. I wonder if he's had a comment together with Jason, maybe. Although then again... Jason's not the guy that you will rage quit after incident or something like that, so I will assume that that's not the reason why he's retired from the race, but you just can't be sure. And Dale has not had a good day in his second race in the league. Martin, however, has. Look at that, you can't even see Limitless. When you look back from Martin's rear wing. Is he ever going to come around the hairpin? There he is. Tiny dot in the background. Martin just nudging that cone. And looking very strong. And of course for his third consecutive to win. Incredible pace from him. I think that Limitless would have been most people's favourites going into this season. But Martin just showing him how he's done at the moment. Limitless not having any comeback as he stands in the race, and like I said, really not worked for him in terms of strategy in this race. Follow him on board for a little bit to see how he drives. Looking nice as ever through those corners there. Great line. Carrying good amount of apex speed as well. Sounds like he's revving the engine absolute to the maximum, but it usually sounds like that on the spectator cam, to be honest, even if they're not actually revving the engine that much in reality. Spectator cam is a bit dodgy on this game, as we all know. F1 Maestro says in the chat that he's asked Jason why he retired here. That'd be good to know if you can let me know on that one. Obviously, haven't read the chat too much again because there's too much action going on out on track. So, what do you think, guys? Do you think Limitless made a mistake here? Do you think he can close this gap? Because it's probably around 5 seconds, maybe. Still, he's closing, but not enough, I feel. Lap 17 now. Already halfway through this third stint in the race. We're obviously over halfway through the whole race as well. Yeah, Limitless looking good on pace, but not on strategy. I guess we can say so far. Liebert by himself still in P4. Brochek has not managed to make up the gap he lost by pitting a lap earlier. Neither has NLR Evo done anything about Brochek. Actually dropped a little bit away from Brochek after they came into the pits together. So it's really spreading out a little bit. Oh, but Yi, oh, he's made a move actually. It was P8, I swear. Oh, it was P9 not long ago. The Yi has just made 2 rapid overtakes while we've been watching the guys out in front. Made his way up from P9 to P7 within the space of a couple of laps. So at least that's some positive news for him after a tough day in the cockpit so far. Going to Big Gary got it. Gary obviously Tierra Martin. Only thing that might save JD is if Martin gets traffic after his final stop, says Noble. Yeah, that's very true indeed. But as you can see on the minimap now, the field is it is quite spread out. So even if Martin gets some traffic, it might only be one car. And depending on obviously then on when he potentially catches up to him, it could either help him or disadvantage him. Ooh, Evo really struggling there through turn 2. And he had great pace at the start. Oh no! Orbit Pride's gone! Ah, that's a shame. Oh no! This is a big problem. Leebot's gone as well. There seems to be some major disconnection issues going on at the moment. I can't remember who's actually the host of this lobby, but that is not what you want to see. And you can see P6 then for Yi moving up due to Leebot getting disconnected. Big shame for him. Leebot has been fighting so hard in his race with Broshek and then getting ahead on the pit stop. That's really annoying. Really hate to see drivers getting disconnected. I say I haven't been disconnected a great deal of times in my league racing career, but when I have, it's just the worst feeling, because it's just like it just feels so pointless. Like there's nothing you could do about it. Obviously, some people have bad connections, and that's usually the reason if they get disconnected. But Leobot and Orbit Pride have not had any connection issues so far this season. It's a shame to see. So yeah, that's obviously put Broshik up to P4. And Unleashed. That'll been given less to worry about from behind. Running in nicely in P3 again, just like it did last week in Malaysia. So kind of lonely race for him again after the first few laps, I guess. Let's see then. Is Limitless getting any closer here? Still a big gap, isn't it? And it's only a couple of laps left on this stint. The Limitless, I really don't think this is working out. Especially if he's going to let Martin again get the undercut on the final stop as well and pull even further ahead in terms of the undercut. So I don't know, and I don't think, because Limited stayed just one lap longer on both the first two stops. He's not really put himself in a position either where he can potentially go on the soft tire at the end. So it's looking difficult for him at the moment, I have to say. Yeah, especially Toxic Crusader 94. That's in the chat. The gap will get even bigger again after the pit stops, which is very true. Obviously, that is if Limitless again lets Martin get the undercut. He's given him the undercut by pitting a lap later on the first two stops, and I don't know. I feel like he maybe should have learned from the first stop and done something else on the second, because he clearly wasn't working out. That's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you just set on the strategy that you believe will be the best for you. And Limitless historically as well, he likes to be on the better tires than the cars he's trying to chase down or battle with. But at the moment, Martin's just had so good pace that Limitless has not been able to make that work. So I'm just going to look at the standings as it stands at the moment and see how this obviously affects the standings if it finishes like this. Because you can see on the minimap, the field is really spread out at the moment. Obviously, not helped by the two disconnections we had. Leebot disconnecting from P4, Orbit Pride disconnecting from P8, I believe. Big shame. And 10 out of 13 drivers remaining in the race after also... who was that disconnected earlier? Can't remember now. The Tyrrell McGuire. Either way. So if Martin wins this... Oh, and he goes into the pits actually. Tyrrell Martin is in the pit now. That's a nice and clean stop. I don't see any reason you don't have random pit failures on this game, so... and there's no one else in the pit lane to hold him up, I believe. Actually, the pit box is very far down the straight. Unleashed, I believe, is in the pits back there, but obviously, yes, way behind. And he does not get any traffic. Crucially for Martin. Project's temporarily gone up to P2, but Martin has got absolutely clean air here. And again, has been given the chance to pull a bigger gap. Just by Limitless not reacting and going in on the same lap this time either. But I have to just feel like Limitless has thrown this race away a little bit. After qualifying on pole, looking very strong on pace, but the strategy just hasn't worked out. So, Merc strategies confirmed, says Stuart. Yeah, that's very true. Many annoying faces, well, annoying people. Certainly on my Twitter timeline with the Mercedes pit strategies. In Abu Dhabi, real life race tonight, or earlier today, I should say. And yeah, Limitless in the pits then now. I'm just going to try and find him. Oh, that was Hunter Stale actually in the pits. So yeah, here comes Limitless into the pits. Nice and clean entry. But again, he's done this lap on very worn tyres, whilst Martin has been out in clean air on the very fresh tyres. And I believe that's Martin already crossing the line right about there. He will be passing him now. Ooh, it's not that big a gap, is it? That's not that big a gap. That's surprising. That's I wonder if Martin's made a mistake on his outlap, because that is certainly not any bigger of a gap than it was before the pit stop. Maybe there's a chance for Limitless after all. It's only a couple of seconds now, I'd say. Yeah, I think against all odds there, despite Martin pitting earlier, which worked so well in the first couple of stops, Limitless is certainly within visual distance. You can see Martin there, and he will maybe be motivated even further to push on to catch him. When you can see the gap has closed down. Ooh, yeah, Jack speculating in Limitless potentially being short on fuel, and Martin maybe fuel saving as well, which could be a very good reason. Limitless just pushing the fuel just to try and get into DRS maybe. He's not within DRS yet. While Martin's saving fuel to push harder towards the end of the race when Limitless then, if he is running a negative on his fuel at the moment, Limitless then will be forced to fuel save at the end. And if Martin then has the chance of running rich mix while Limitless runs in lean mix, then you have to say that is favor Martin. But right now Limitless has gotten himself into DRS range. Yes, has he opened it? I'm not sure how to read that graphic, but yeah. Oh no! Oh, that's contact! Martin's off the track. Limitless just smashed him over. Turn 1. I can't believe that. What on earth just happened there? And Martin's dropped behind Unleashed as well. What the freaking frick? I'm just... What? I can't believe that happened. Two very clean drivers from experience, but Limitless just hit Martin off air and showing no signs. Showing absolutely no signs of slowing down. So I wonder, is there any lag involved with that? Because surely if Limitless actually saw the same on his screen that I saw on my screen, and surely he would have been waiting for Martin to let him back through. But he's still going in the lead, and he's got a big gap now. And Martin will now have a challenge to get up to second again. Yeah, Limitless going full throttle in the lead. Wow, I can't believe that. That's I can only assume that that was lag related, otherwise Limitless might have to impose a penalty on himself after the race. Him obviously being a cornet for this season. But yeah, that is I don't know, that is controversy if you've ever seen anything like that. And the gap from Martin down to P4 is bigger than the gap he has now up to Unleashed in P2. But that has just turned Martin's race on its head after leading for so many laps. And yeah, Brochek nearly within DRS range here now on Martin. And Evo as well, not too far behind him, I think. These unbelievable scenes. Ooh, people in this, people in the chat saying it's maybe a ghost car going on there. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I would not be surprised. Limitless is not the guy to hit someone off as blatantly as that without waiting. That is not something you see from him. As Brochek now is getting very close to Martin. And Martin's Vos, especially if that was a ghost car, then oh my goodness me. And is that people still not seeing Martin, I wonder? Is Martin a ghost car for everyone, perhaps? Because it looked like Brochek almost drove through him there. Through that right-hander. So I swear they fixed the ghost car issue, didn't they? I swear they did. It was like the ghost car issue was something we were worried about in the first few months of F1 2013. I seem to remember they fixed it after that, but nice. Yeah, we obviously saw a couple of guys getting disconnected at the same time early in the race. Maybe there is something up with just a general connection situation in the lobby at the moment that's causing issues. Can Evo see Martin? No, clearly not. He's just driven straight through him. Martin's just being dropped left, right and centre just as a result of people not seeing him on the track. That is definitely a ghost car going on here. So for people not aware of the ghost car bug that sometimes occurs, I haven't seen it for ages on this game. But yeah. So I assume what is the case is that for every other driver on the track, Tyrrell Martin's car is just stuck somewhere on the racetrack. And yeah, not appearing in the right position for other cars. And I wonder, are we seeing him as a ghost car then? I mean, for us, he's driving completely normally. I wonder if this is just Martin being put on the back foot as a result of other people hitting him off. But God, if this was like a ghost car actually driving his car on our screen now, then that ghost car would be pretty damn fast. Yeah, that has just turned the race on its head then. Limitless in the lead. And I wonder actually, it's just an uncertainty because I wonder, is Martin actually a ghost car for us as well? Clearly just lost all his pace. But I feel like he's still driving pretty normally, like obviously not as fast as he used to, but he's still driving normally. Yeah, maybe it's the old ghost car type bug that happened in like 2011 and stuff. It's not actually the ghost car that just puts the car randomly somewhere on the track going in circles. It's actually the ghost car that just makes him an AI driver and drives slowly around the track. In that case, I wonder if Martin is actually out in the lead on his screen. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay on board with Martin here for this lap just to see what his lap time. Yeah, okay. I just looked at his lap time. That is. Oh yeah. Okay. So the lap time has just restarted for him. while he was going down the back straight. So yeah, this is clearly not Martin's car we're watching. But I still feel like he is behind Limitless. Because his timer reset after Limitless had crossed the line. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Limitless, see when he crosses the line. I'm gonna go back to Martin and see when the timer resets for him. He's still P1. Yeah, there's people in the chat saying Martin is still P1. Obviously, there's no way for me to actually tell now because the spectator cam is broken. That's a bit of an anticlimax because then we can actually not see the exact gap between them and see whether Limitless is actually closing or not, and whether they will have a battle. But we are only a lap and a half away from the end of this race. Okay, so keep an eye on Limitless dot on the map. So he's the guy now coming into the hairpin. And let's see when the timer resets for Martin. Oh yeah, he must be ahead actually. It wasn't Limitless that was ahead before. It was the guy in last. Yeah, so there we go. That's a couple of seconds maybe. The timer reset for Martin. A little bit before Limitless crossed the start-finish line. Evo still running nicely P4. Not close enough to challenge Brocek, who again is not close enough to really challenge Unleashed. So Unleashed then is still in P3 despite it saying P2 on the spectator cam. Limitless P2 even though it says P1. And I wonder then as well if the ghost car is only on my screen or if it's also on Limitless' screen. And if Limitless actually doesn't know, or whether or not he knows what the gap is to Martin for himself. But all we can do really is to just stay on board with Limitless here until the end of the race and see what position it says he's in when he crosses the line. Yeah, people in the chat, Stuart, Don Silva, Don Silva saying it's close. Stuart and GK saying it's 1 second possibly between them, although yeah, Limitless does not have DRS, so I assume he also can't see Martin, or he's too far back to have it. So let's pretend then. I assume that Martin is pretty much now crossing the final corner to take the win. The Chinese Grand Prix, although I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. Race ends. Oh, that was less than a second, I would say, possibly. Between Martin and Limitless there, my screen's just gone black, not finding any drivers to go to. And I'm not even able to go back to, there we go, back to the result screen. So yeah, Martin actually wins the race after all that confusion with the ghost car and everything. Limitless has to settle for P2. He finishes P6 after qualifying seconds. He was screwing himself over after pitting on the same lap as his teammate earlier in the race. Arianto will be scoring his first points in the race, or in the season, I should say, with finishing P8 here. 4 nice points for him. Pretty lonely though on the track. Who's this poor guy? Way behind. TSR Huntersdale in P9, last man on the circuit. Obviously, yeah, a bit of an annoying race, to be honest, due to the connection troubles. A couple of cars disconnecting. Martin ghosting for me and possibly other drivers in the race as well. At least for me. And Huntersdale, I'm not sure that's how you take that hairpin, but it really doesn't matter for him at this point. He finishes P9 whether he likes it or not. So yeah, Tyrrell Martin just again, incredible performance. You know, we only saw 2/3 of it on our screen. You can see there was the gap. It was less than it was more than a second actually. 1.97 in the end, ahead of Limitless, who really didn't do himself any favors in the pit strategy, you have to say. Pitting 1 lap later than Martin on every single stop. And after being ahead, of course, after ahead of the first stop. So he'll be kind of unhappy with himself, I guess. At least another podium for him. Rojek finishes fourth again, ahead of the new guy, NLR Evo, rounding up the top 5 on his debut. Looking very strong, especially in the early stage of the race, moving himself up from last place to P6 very quickly, for kind of settling down there. Would have finished P6 if Liebert had not disconnected from P4. But there he is again, Tyrrell Martin, a familiar sight with the golden helmet, celebrating his win. 3rd consecutive win, and this time also without the racing line. So yeah, what do you think of that race? Anticlimax at the end with the ghost car, and people spreading out, you have to say. It was a bit annoying how everyone spread out from each other after the first half of the race was really action-packed. It was just side by sides everywhere, but it was really a race of 2 halves. You usually use that term in football, don't you? A game of 2 halves, but yeah, that was certainly a race of 2 halves. Lots of action in the first part. And then pretty silent in the second part, apart from that imaginary controversy moment with Limitless hitting Martin. It looked like, but then he actually had not done that because there was issue with the connection. Martin being a ghost car on the spectator cam. And again, he had what it took to win the race, out-strategizing Limitless on this occasion. And yeah, Limitless in the chat as well now, saying that the undercut was huge, and that was indeed the case. That's where you lost it, mate. Yeah, who was your driver of the day then, guys? Let me know in chat before I go. Yes, I'm gonna just check what this does for the standings. Obviously, Martin now moving up to 75 out of 75 points after 3 races. Limitless will be getting himself another 18 points, which takes him up to 51. So Limitless will be already 24 points adrift, nearly a race win adrift of Martin after the first 3 races, despite getting 3 consecutive podiums. So Tyrrell Limitless has done everything this season apart from beating Martin so far. And yeah, lots of shout for the new guy NLR Evo for driver of the day in the chat, and I really can't argue too much with that one. A very impressive debut indeed, from the back of the grid to finish P5. And Dalek Pro giving Martin his driver of the day as well. Certainly. And the Ciario as well, driver of the day for Martin. So nothing really to argue with that either. Incredible pace again. Made the strategy work as well. And there's some pretty weird driver of the day shouts now, so I think that's about time to wrap it up, because now people are giving driver of the day to drivers who aren't even racing in the league anymore. That's great. So yeah, next time out, of course, we are on round 4. That will be the Bahrain Grand Prix. Oh, good memories from Bahrain in Season 8, when I was actually challenging Limitless and XMAG for top 3 positions. But yeah, that's just me reminiscing of some good times. One of the few good top races I had, I guess, in that scene. But yeah, another track where Limitless should be good, but another track where Martin will be looking to just I'm not going to use the word dominate, but being that far ahead after 3 races, winning 3 in a row, it's kind of dominated him so far. But Limitless has what it takes to get back at him. I'm sure I'll certainly give him a good fight. So yeah, I hope you'll all join us for round 4 next week at the same time. And yeah, final shout from me. The Adam 5 congratulating me on out-qualifying Evo. I did a great job in qualifying, didn't I? Yeah, that's enough for me today. Hope you enjoyed the race. Race 2 halves, I guess, again, like I said. And join us for next time in Bahrain. Have a great night, and I'll see you later.